Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of Thunderbirds from 2004. Yes, Thunderbirds are go. This is a film version based on the 1960s marionette series by Jerry Anderson. So, this is the film version that came out, as I said, in 2004. This was a Studio Canal and working title film as well. Now, if you hear music downstairs, I do apologize, guys. My folks are listening to some music right now, so hopefully we can get past all that and just focus on this review. So, I do apologize if you do hear that downstairs. So, yeah, this is the live-action adaptation. This stars Bill Paxton, Anthony Edwards, Sophie Myles, and Ben Kingsley. And also marks the acting debut of Brady Cabot, who would go on to direct the Oscar-winning film The Brutalists. Pendulum swings. So after all that, what did I think of the movie Thunderbirds? Yikes. Let's talk about Thunderbirds, shall we? I'm going to read you the plot on the back of the DVD, and it says, "Take off with the Thunderbirds. Aimed with the latest high-tech vehicles and gadgets, the Tracy family tackles a global operations on a daily basis. But when their arch enemy, the Hood, Ben Kingsley, sabotages the Thunderbirds as part of his master plan to rob the world's richest banks, it's up to Alan, the youngest Tracy, to spring into action before disaster strikes. Loaded with non-stop thrills, you'll love the full-throttle family adventure that will have you cheering. Thunderbirds are go." This movie also has, Vanessa Hudgens. This will be a year before she go on to be in the High School Musical series of films for Disney Channel. But here she's credited as Vanessa Ann Hutchins. So, yeah, this movie was not good. This is my second viewing. I've seen this before, but this is my second viewing and first time viewing for the channel. So, yikes, was this movie a disaster. Biggest problem I have with the movie is it focused more on the visual effects rather than giving us a good story. You got a cast that seems like they go nowhere with it. Right off the bat, the film begins with Alan Tracy. It starts out with Alan Tracy, who's basically, he's in school right now. So now then the headmaster of school wants to introduce him to a woman named Lady Penelope. That's Sophie Myles. She would later go on to, 2 years later, star in the Terry Zogboff film Art School Confidential. So, her character, again, she gets Alan Tracy to meet up with his father, Jeff Tracy, Bill Paxton. So, again, the characters just don't go really anywhere. The visual effects are great, the locations and cinematography, but I can't get over that when you have characters that completely go nowhere than what the plot should be about. Also, they have some really bad visual. There's one moment in it near the end of the movie. Right then, there's a scene where Tintin, that's Vanessa Hudgens, she plays Tintin in the movie. So, Alan tells his friend, "I'm going to take the ship underwater and get a bunch of these civilians." So, right off the bat, she tells the other kid, Tintin, to, "Hey, will you stay right there? I'm going underwater and latch this chain." So latch the hook, and for some reason it looks really bad. Most underwater scenes in movies are very convincing. We see the characters jump in the water, swim to like open up valves or gates. Here it looks like she's swimming on green screen. It almost reminds me of the level where you sorry about that, guys. Where you have to save a bunch of these people and they're like swimming. These women are like swimming. And it's like you can tell it's total green screen. Reminds me a lot of this. I don't want to necessarily say that Thunderbirds is the worst movie. The question comes down to, is Thunderbirds the worst movie I ever watched? Is this a bad movie? Yes. Is this the worst movie I watch? No. There are tons of other movies I have reviewed and covered on the channel that are way worse than this. But at the end of the day, well, I won't say that just yet. So if I said that, we'll get to that near the end. So basically, now it seems like I forgot to mention about Anthony Edwards. He plays the father of the kid, and he stutters. So the Hood and another guy decides they're going to get Anthony Edwards. So now they have the main guy, his henchman, and the Hood has got him. Also, weird enough, the Hood does this thing with the eyes that like glow red. They're more like hypnotism eyes. So they're like glowing red, and then he controls him. So he stares at Edwards' character. He does the glowing eyes. So all of a sudden he's like, does that, and then he's like, puts his hand on the thing to open up the door, puts his hand on there, and opens up the door. So that's really, yeah, I don't know. The movie, like I said, again, the visual effects are great. Ben Kingsley was almost going to save it, but it seems like Ben Kingsley plays a Hood, and he seems like he's just way over the top. He seems like he's just enjoying it and chewing the scenery. When you got an actor like Ben Kingsley in a film, and from a well-known director, this movie is directed by Jonathan Frakes, which TNG fans will know him as the role of Will Riker in TNG. So he directed this movie. Frakes is a really good director. He's actually one of the few directors. He directed the 2 TNG films and Clock Stoppers, and he also directed the Librarian series that were made for TV. But he's really good as a director. I'm not faulting the director, I'm faulting the script. I think personally this movie could have been good, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Is there any other positives I could say? Not really. Those are about really the only positives I could say. So yeah, I'm going to say right now, at the end of the day, I can't recommend Thunderbirds. I don't know what happened. I watched it for the first time as myself before I started the series, and I thought the movie was just mediocre, okay for what it is. After watching it the second time, I realized how bad this was. It just came down to a very boring kids movie. Let me explain about family movies and kids movies. Family movies is for the entire family. Kids movies are made for kids. They're literally target only for children. This right here feels like it's trying to be a family film. It doesn't know what genre it's going to be. Is it a movie for kids or is it a movie for adults? Kids might like it, but then again, adults like me, who I never seen this back in 2004. The last time I saw this movie was probably in 2000, I believe 10 was the last time I saw it. Well, I saw it before I started the series. I think I got this at a Goodwill a couple years back. I believe that was like 2000. It wasn't 2010. I think it was like 2014. And I watched it then. Now I'm watching it now, and I realize it's just a very boring movie. It's, again, this is a bad movie, but it's not the worst movie I've seen. I've seen way worse stuff. If you go into my channel, like, it's not The Stray bad. That was the worst movie I've ever watched, and I still stand by that to this day. Thunderbirds is just a very boring, mediocre, bad film. Not all, as I said before, I don't know what happened when they decided to make a live-action Thunderbirds. A live-action Thunderbirds movie seems like it's right up the alley. I knew about this movie when it came out in 2004. I just never saw it in 2004, and I never saw this in theaters. I just never did. But as I said, at the end of the day, guys, I just can't recommend Thunderbirds. I mean, it tries. Again, I don't fault the director. I just fault on the script. Again, visual effects and Ben Kingsley are great. Everything else in the middle are just bad. So, at the end of the day, I still can't recommend this. So, let's go ahead and rate this right now. I'm going to give Thunderbirds a 2 out of 5. Again, I don't know what happened when I first watched this. You got a script. I'm trying to think of who wrote this. Yeah, William Osborne and Michael McClutter actually wrote the script, and Peter Hewitt and William Osborne actually came up with the story. Again, guys, I forgot to mention, Hans Zimmer's score is really, really good. In fact, the opening title to this movie reminds me a little bit of another movie I covered on the channel, Catch Me If You Can. That opening was really cool. That opening was awesome. But sum it up again, a 2 out of 5 is just what I'm going to give it, guys. So, yeah. So, like I said, a automatic pass on this. If you have the least bit interested, I guess if you've never seen the show like I did, I never seen the show, and I went into this blind for the second time. And I can already tell you that show's probably a ton of fun. Or if you want to watch a marionette movie, just go watch Team America World Police. That movie was a ton of fun. And yeah, weird enough, Jerry Anderson, who created this series, is not even credited anywhere in the movie. Either Jerry Anderson saw this and just knew this was a bad movie, or they just didn't, I don't know, they probably just didn't contact him about it. So, yeah, pass on Thunderbirds. Can't recommend that one at all. So that's my review of Thunderbirds. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss a single video on my channel. I also do, in addition to the Universal movie reviews, I also do Vlog City, collection updates. As I said before, guys, I'm on Letterboxd, so you guys can check me out there as well and see what you guys think. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell. Do all that good stuff. So, yeah. So, as I said before, Thunderbirds should just stay as Thunderbirds. Yeah, so yeah, Thunderbirds should stay. So anyways, that's it. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.